Hello everyone, welcome to Wing Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've stopped by my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do our fourth and fifth alternative card for the April 2025 Inked Occasions. We're going to be using one of the card bases and the add-on dies, which were called Hugs a Bloom. And the die set has this flower and a little leaf in it and this label and a thing that says hugs. And we're going to use the label today. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've got a card base out of Gorgeous Grape. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I've got a piece of white that I'm going to put on the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. And then I've got the piece that we're going to put on the front. So this was a card base that came in the kit. It had, you know, the back side to it. This is the front. I cut it in half, so we're just going to use this. I cut it down just a little bit to that 4 by 5 1/4 so it would fit on the front and we'd still have a little margin. So we're going to go ahead and put this on the front of our card base. I'm just going to use a little seal here. And I'll lay this out flat because I think it makes it a little easier to put on there. Decide how we want this. I think I want this white down here in this bottom corner. So we're going to put it in like this. And we'll get that centered up and that looks pretty good. And I took a couple of pieces here that have the same color. So this is Pool Party and this is Peach. And these were papers that were in the in colors from last year. And so I took a little piece of these. These are, what are these? These are 1 inch wide. And I just kind of staggered the length and I cut a little dovetail here in the bottom here to make a banner. So we're going to put these on here. I think I'm going to use, let's see, yeah, we're going to use these like this. So we're going to put this just kind of in the middle. It doesn't have to be all the way. You can put it wherever it looks nice for you. And I'm going to use that side. So we're going to put seal on this side. And I'm going to stagger this just a bit. I'm going to overlap the Pool Party one just a tad bit here. There we go. And I took the die that was in the Hugs a Bloom, the label die, and I cut a label for this out of Highland Heather. And we're going to stamp on this and we're going to stamp on our inside. So for the outside, I'm going to use a sentiment that comes from this new stamp set. This is Turtley Awesome. This is something that's going to go live, I think, the first week of July. It's really cute. It's got some little turtles down here and some birthday wishes, a balloon, and it comes in a suite. So there's a paper pack that goes with it and a die set. But today we're only going to use the stamp. And I'm going to use the one that says, oh, it says Hooray. I have it out here already. So, we're going to use this. It says Hooray. And I'm going to stamp that in Memento Black. So let me get there we go. Put this out of our way here. Now, this is a brand new stamp that just came out of this package. And when you use brand new stamps that are these photopolymer, it's good to kind of rub them on. I usually just like rub it on my arm here. It takes that coating off of it that came from the manufacturer. And if you do that, you'll get a much clearer and crisper image. So we're going to go ahead and ink this one up. We'll use our black ink here. I'm going to make sure we got it good. Okay. Now, I'm going to take our label. I'm going to put this right in the middle. Put that down. I'm going to hold it for just a second so that the ink transfers. And there we go. We've got our sentiment there. It says Hooray. I'm going to leave that open. On the inside, I'm going to use a stamp that comes out of this Greatest Adventure. This was a stamp set that was in last year's, and it says retired now, but I just love this train that's on the front. But it has this sentiment that says, here's to happiness ahead. So I'm going to use that because I envision this being kind of like a card for like a retirement or something where, you know, people are leaving. Okay, so this is a stamp I haven't used yet. So I'm going to show you how these rubber stamps come. They come like this, and they also come with a sheet that has the like the label on it that goes on here. So you have to peel this part off and put the label on. So let me show you the best way to do that. So yeah, this is the one we want right here. So I'm going to peel it off of the carrier sheet here, and it's sticky on this side. And so I'm going to put that down on my block. So I'm going to just, this top side comes off as well. So we're going to peel the top side off. And we're going to put this down on the block. Okay, and then, whoops, and then we'll get this other side off of here. It helps to have one fingernail, which I only seem to have one of. So there's that. So we've got that. Now you take this piece that actually has the stamp and you peel this part off of it. And you take what's on your block and it fits right on here. So you just center that on top of the stamp. And then it'll come off in one piece and you've got the label on it. It's the easiest way I've found to put the labels on the stamps. So I'm going to pick this back up on our block. And we're going to ink this up. Now remember, this is one of these red rubber ones, so we need to be careful that we don't pick up too much ink around the sides of it or it'll mess it up when I stamp. So I'm just tapping lightly. Okay, let's see what we get. So I'm just going to, oops, try that again. Let's put this right here at the top, hopefully straight. There we go. Here's to happiness ahead. Looks good. Okay. I'm going to close my ink pad up because inevitably I will put my fingers in it. And then we're going to put this on the inside of our card. So we'll center, oops, not that way. This way. We'll put this in here. Get that even as possible. Okay, that looks good. All right, so then we've got back here, we're going to put this, our sentiment on here, but I think I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. So let's see now, where's my thing of dimensionals? Here it is. Okay, so we're going to get some dimensionals on the back of this. Okay, so let's get the backs off of here. Try to get those in the garbage can and not all over the floor, because dimensional backs stay with you forever. Okay, I think I got all those. Okay, so we're going to just center that on here, right across our banners. Okay, looks good. And then I'm going to put a couple of gems on here. So these are the purple adhesive backed sequins that we're going to put on. So I'm going to take your pick tool, and I'm going to just take some of these pink ones here. Let's see. Let's put one here and here and another one. Let's see, where? Right here. There we go. That looks good. Okay, so that's the first card. Easy, simple. Now, let's look at the second one I've got here. So I've got a piece of Highland Heather, 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. So that's going to be our card base. Let's give this a little burnish there. Got my piece for the inside, 4 by 5 1/4. I've got another card front. So basically this is the other half of this card front. And we're going to use that here. So I basically doubled. We took one card base and we've made 2 cards out of it. I'm going to do then this one this way. So it's a little opposite of the way we did before. So we'll go ahead and put this on. Open this one up. We'll get this one centered. There we go. Now, I took a piece of white cardstock, and this is an 1 by 4, because I want to put it just right across the center there of our card. So we're going to put this on. And we're just going to try to center this kind of more toward the bottom, so it's not quite in the center. And then I took the Hugs of Bloom dies, the flower leaves that were in here, and I cut 2 of them out of white. And we're going to put those here like this. So we'll put those in a minute. I want to stamp on this first. So for this one, we're going to use a set that was called One More Year. I'm not sure if this one's retired or not. I think it might be, but I'm not sure exactly. But we're going to use the Happy Birthday, the one that says Happy Birthday, Another Wrinkle Wiser. So this is also a new set that I haven't used before, so we'll have to put our stamp together. Let's see, which one of these is it? I always love trying to read them upside down or backwards. Let's see, I think this one says, we're going to use this one on the inside. At least you're not as old as you'll be next year. So we're going to do that one too, but that's going on the inside. So for the front, I want the one that says Happy Birthday, Another Wrinkle Wiser. Let's see, I think it's this one. So we'll find our label. I should just take the time to do this all at the same time for the whole stamp set. But, you know, I just never... Here it is. Never have the time. Doesn't seem like. So we're going to put this one on our block. I always like to try to start peeling that off first before I lay it down, so I can make sure I can get the other side off. So we'll pull this one up. There we go. Okay, and then let's see, I think it's this one. We'll take the backing off of this piece. And we'll put this one, let's see. There we go. So we'll just put that on there like that. Okay. And then we'll do this one in a minute. So let's get this one. Another Birthday, Another Wrinkle Wiser. I think, let's see, what color do we want to do? I'm thinking Berry Burst. Let's do Berry Burst for this one. So I'll ink this stamp up. And I always like to kind of, sometimes with the brand new stamps, especially the rubber ones, I like to kind of take a scratch piece of paper and just do a practice stamp. That looks pretty good. Okay, just to make sure that it's stamping, you know, good. So let's get this on the middle of our piece right here in the middle. It's gonna, oops, all right, so see what I did? I did the one thing I told you guys not to do, but I'll show you how we can fix that. I take my sand eraser, you can get this off of here. So let's just do that. right quickly. Let's see if we can get it off. If we can't get it off, I'm going to turn it over. Maybe with this ink, it may not come off so well. Sometimes you can get it off to where it doesn't show. And sometimes not. So this is kind of a dark ink. So I'm just going to take this and see if we can get it off of here. Okay. Real quick, I'm just going to cut another piece. It's fine. I have plenty of white cardstock. Let me find a piece in my scrap pile here. Okay, so here's a piece of scrap white. We'll just cut a piece really quickly. So 1 inch, I said. So we'll do on the right hand side of the cutter here, we'll get 1 inch, and then we'll cut it by 4. And we'll try this again. See if I can manage to not do what I told you guys not to do. So don't press hard and don't rock your stamp. So let's try one more time. This time I'm smart and I'm not going to glue it to the card before I stamp on it. So let's do this. There we go. Another birthday, another wrinkle wiser. All right. We have success. So let's put this back on the front. Inevitably, it never fails. Okay, so we'll get this on here. Oops, I got my finger in it. Oh my goodness. I'm not having a good night here, am I? This I think we can get off. This isn't very dark. That was just a finger accident. Okay, this one I think we're good. And what little pieces left there will give us an excuse to put an embellishment there. So, okay. Now, let's get this out of the way, and we're going to stamp the inside. And we're going to do our stamp that says, what did I do with it? Here it is. At least you're not as old as you'll be next year. So let's get our label for our stamp. Let's see. Here it is, right here. So we'll take this off of here, put it on our block. This, just start that down like that, get this piece up. Okay, there we go. Take the back off of this, and we'll get our label on here. Let's see, is it this way? It's always a, nope, had it right the first time. Okay, so we're going to get this down. There we go. When I first got these red rubber stamps, the first set I bought, I had no idea how to get the label on. None whatsoever. So until I saw somebody do it in a YouTube video, and I'm like, oh, so that's how you do it. Let's give this a couple of practice stamps. Okay, now we'll ink this up, and we're not going to press hard. We're going to press very lightly. See if I can get it straight. So straight down, straight back up. At least you're not as old as you'll be next year. Okay. Close our ink pad so we don't have any more ink disasters tonight. You know, 2 is enough for one evening. We'll get this on the inside here. And then we'll put some gems on the front. I'm still going to use these same purple adhesive backed sequins because I think the color goes so well with this color scheme. So I'm going to use these lighter ones, I think, this time. Let's see, so we'll get one. We're going to put one right here to cover up our little ink spot. And we'll put one here. And one, let's say, down here. And that is our second card for tonight, but our, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth card, our fifth alternative. We got to put our little leaves in here, so I forgot these. Here they are. Okay, so we're going to put one up here, like this. It's good. We'll put it around our little sequins here, since I almost forgot our little leaves. Let's see. Yeah, we can do that. Just like that. Okay, so let me get some of our fine tip glue here, and we will just quickly put a couple of drops on the back of these leaves, and we'll tuck it under here. I was in such a hurry to put the nice pretty sequins on that I forgot about our leaves. Oh my goodness, let me get this under here. There we go. Okay. So we're going to just put that right like that. We're going to hold it for just a second. It's not quite as tacky as the Tombow glue right out of the bottle, so you got to give it a minute here to... Okay, now we'll do this one. Just a dot on each. And we'll go up here with this one. There we go. I'll hold that down for a second. And there, now we have a finished card. So pretty. Okay, so that's all I've got for you guys tonight. I've got several more alternatives cards in the wings. And we've still got part of this kit to do a scrapbook layout with. So stay tuned and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And, you know, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, so I know that I'm doing what you guys like. So I will see you all probably tomorrow. So have a crafty evening.